What's going on, everybody? I'm the Entertainist and welcome back to another music vlog. So for this music vlog, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind music-wise for a little bit, and that is debut albums. My friend and I were talking a couple months ago on how a band or an artist's first album is sometimes their best work. Not only their best work, their most underappreciated work unless you're a die-hard fan of that artist. So we were talking about that, and he listed some of his favorites, I listed some of my favorites, and I just think it's really interesting because this is going to be many different things. I'm going to talk about some of my favorite debut albums from a single artist, and I'm also going to talk about how the transitioning of that artist's songs or their sound goes, how they went from their very first album and how they sounded on that to where they are today. First thing, I want to talk about how just a debut album, a artist's very first album, will be their most important work. I think without a doubt it's their most important work for the fact that since they're not big yet, since an artist isn't huge yet at this point, they're making the music they want to make. Everything that they're making is 100% them. And if it wasn't for that album, they would not be where they are today. I just think that's truly amazing. And one example I want to talk about is Arctic Monkeys' Whatever People Say I Am Not. I remember one day when I was just cleaning my room or cleaning my house or something, maybe a few months ago, I turned on Arctic Monkeys. I'm a fan of them. I've never listened to them religiously, but I've liked songs like Are You Mine and Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High. I've always enjoyed those songs. So I just turned on Arctic Monkeys playlist on YouTube and started playing a bunch of their stuff and then bands that are similar to them. And I came across one song I've never heard before called I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. And it's from that album. And I was like, oh, I've never listened to this before. It's a really good song. It really got me. And I'm a huge fan on like good punk rock, and that's exactly what they are. They got this like garage band sound, especially that album. And after I listened to that song, I was like, that was really good. So let me go back to that album and listen to the rest of it. And guys, when I turned on that album and listened to it from start to finish, I enjoyed every single song. That is rare. That's rare when I find an album and I enjoy it. Literally no song was skippable to me. Sure, there's ones I like more than others, but every single one just sounded, it was just so great. If you're into punk rock, definitely check out Arctic Monkeys, Whatever People Say I Am Not. Even if you're not the biggest Arctic Monkeys fan, I mean, I guess you won't enjoy it then, but I just think that there are some songs for everybody on there. Because some songs kind of slow down. Like there's this band called Little Joy. There's a song on there called Riot Van that reminds me a lot of Little Joy. It's just this very like soft and soothing sound. And then they get into some like hard rock, and then they do a mash of both. And I thought it was awesome. And I was like, oh dude, you can definitely tell that like this song, like if it wasn't for this specific song, Are You Mine wouldn't exist. I just think it's truly amazing. And when I say that an artist's first album is like the one that's like 100% them, and it's like the one they're most compassionate to make because they're not famous, they're trying to get content out there. I'm not saying that as they go on they care less about the music they're making, but let's be real here. You know, like when an artist gets signed, you're in some type of control. Like you're kind of being controlled on what type of sound you could do depending how fucking famous you are. One example I'm going to talk about is Coldplay. Now, I don't know all the little details, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't do like the biggest research on this, and maybe it is just how Coldplay wants to do it. But I was a huge fan of Coldplay growing up, and I remember when I got Rush of Blood to the Head. That's not their debut album. Their debut album is Parachutes. Great album. If you're into Coldplay, I mean, that's just some of their best work right there. My personal favorite album is A Rush of Blood to the Head by them, but this is what I'm going to get about transitioning. You go from Parachutes to where Coldplay had their original sound. Not a lot of other bands like had the sound they had, and it was really nice. It was just very peaceful and relaxing almost with some songs, and it was just like, it was almost kind of like a trance with songs like Trouble and Yellow. And then A Rush of the Blood to the Head was kind of like a sequel to Parachutes to me. It had that same sound, and to me it went up it went up a notch as opposed to Parachutes. So they were just going up for a little bit, and that's why I thought it was amazing. That's why I thought Coldplay was just fucking amazing. And then they did X and Y. X and Y, I think, is another great album. I love it. I think like here's a Rush of Blood to the Head. X and Y's right there, like right under it to me. Just because I think a Rush of Blood to the Head has a lot more depth to it. And then Viva La Vida came out, which I really do enjoy, but I feel like that was the end of the original Coldplay sound and the start to like their new sound. Because then after that, then they started getting very poppy. And in my opinion, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit there and say that I hate every song Coldplay drops now. I don't. All their poppy music, there's a couple songs here and there I do enjoy. I like Every Teardrop is a Waterfall. I like Paradise. But Coldplay lost their touch a little bit. And it's like they did their own spin on pop music. And I don't know. It didn't really vibe with me all that much. But yeah, I feel like for me it started going downhill a little bit. It became a little bit of a sellout. But then, last year when they dropped Everyday Life, I was like, damn, they went back to their original sound. I loved it. I was so happy when I listened to that album that they kind of went back to old Coldplay and how that sounded, and like a lot of people agree on that. When I was looking through comments on YouTube of certain songs, the song Guns, for instance, it is probably one of the most underrated songs on that album, because the biggest song on that album is Orphans for sure. And I really like that song. But Guns is just Chris Martin with an acoustic guitar just singing. And I was like, damn, dude, this sounds like some shit that'd be on a Rush of Blood to the Head, and I love that. So that's what I mean. Like, they transitioned from like their original sound to more how generic modern music sounds, and it worked obviously because that's what everyone's kind of listening to. But they did their own spin on it. That's why I don't hate it all that much. So the next thing I want to talk about that's similar to how Coldplay went like through their music career is Eminem. Now, Eminem started with Infinite in 1996. Now, not a lot of people know what that album is. I didn't when I was introduced to it. I was like 18 years old when I was introduced to that, and I was a big Eminem fan still. And you guys know, I've explained before, I'm huge on Slim Shady. That's my guy. Like, you guys know my taste of hip-hop. I've explained it before on this channel. So Slim Shady's right up my alley. When Eminem started with Infinite and then went into the Eminem Show and Encore, I was like, fuck yeah, that's it. And I was listening to all these recently. And when he started, the thing is that not only was he on a shit ton of drugs when he was doing the Eminem Show, and it worked for him, and he's said it in his songs, like how it's working for him. But when he got off the drugs, that's when he started going on a very serious route. Now, this is where it gets a little iffy for me to talk about, because it's like, I love how I love that he's explaining his story through his music as it's happening in real time. Like, when he got off the drugs and got his act together and started clearing his head out, that's when he got more serious and like wanted to talk about shit that's going on in his heart and in his head. And I loved it. But the songs themselves, I'm not the biggest fans on. There are some that I like. I do like Spacebound. I like Love the Way You Lie. I like Beautiful. But I don't love them as much as I love songs like Without Me, My Name Is, Who Knew. Who Knew is my favorite Eminem song. And I'm Shady. Like, those are my favorite Eminem songs. And also, where Eminem is today, the thing is, there's a lot of like controversy, like, oh, he's still the best rapper ever, or, oh, the guy needs to quit. What the fuck's he doing? Well, the thing is, do I think he is the same rapper he used to be? Not at all. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, nor his fault. The thing is that Eminem already made a fucking name for himself. He's already leaving a legacy on hip-hop. So he doesn't need to go super fucking hard for anybody anymore. He already did that. Eminem already did everything he needed to do. He doesn't, am I the biggest fan of his new album? Not really. I don't care for it, to be honest. But I'm not going to sit there and say he sucks, because it's like the guy just doesn't need to try as hard anymore. And the thing is, not only is he, I don't think he's intentionally not trying. The guy already, I'm sure he knows he already did his best work. Like, it's like, what more do you want from him? I mean, just to fucking, like, redo a song now? Go back on the same beat and just kind of switch up the lyrics a little bit? No. So it's like, when you've been in the game for that long, yeah, you're gonna kind of get dried out a little bit. And that's why I'm not really criticizing him too much on going on a serious route in, like, what was that, the mid-2000s? When he started, when 8 Mile came out, that's when he started going more serious. So what was he supposed to do? Just stay Slim Shady forever? I mean, that would get old. So that's why I don't mind the serious stuff, and I like the message behind all of it. It's just that the songs themselves, as just listening to a song, wanting to turn on a song and listen to it, it's not 100% for me. So that's just kind of my take on that. But once again, it's just interesting to see how an artist can go from the start of their music to where they are now, depending how long they've been in the game. So just to, get something off my chest and list out a couple opinions I have for you guys. I think if you have a favorite artist that you're very passionate about, and I'm sure you guys have if you are a super huge fan of any type of artist that you've listened to their first album. If not, if you have a favorite artist or one you really like, go listen to their first album right now. I guarantee it's going to be some of their best work, and definitely their most underappreciated. And if it weren't for that album or whatever, they would not be making the music that you enjoy nowadays. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do enjoy doing these music vlogs. It feels different to do, and I'm a huge music enthusiast, and I can't wait to talk about another topic, and do this again. The next time I do this, I'm actually gonna have a Strats official on here. We're gonna do a collaboration, because that guy's all about music too. So look forward to that. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.